welcome back to educator.com. This lesson is on units of measurement. We're going to look at the different types of measurement, starting with length. So to see how long something is, we have different measurements. 1 foot we know is 12 inches. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So using this, we can convert from foot to inches, yards to inches, to feet, and so on. Okay. Also, for length, we have meters. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. It's also equal to 1,000 millimeters. And 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So the key here in converting is to use kind of, you should know all of these, but it's also to determine which measurements are larger, which ones are smaller than the others. So right here, centa means 100. But it means small 100. So that means 1 meter, to make up 1 meter, it takes 100 centimeters. So if I said that this is 1 meter, okay, then it takes 100, it takes a lot of centimeters, okay, 100 centimeters, to make up 1 meter. So we know that the meter is bigger than the centimeter. Okay, and centa means 100. So anytime you have anything with centa, it just means 100, but in a small way. They're very small. Okay. Same thing, 1 meter, it also takes 1,000 millimeters to make up 1 meter. So milli means 1,000, but in a small way also. It takes 1,000 of these very small units to make up 1 meter. Kilo also means 1,000, but in a big way. So that means it takes 1,000 meters to make up 1 kilometer. So we know kilometer is bigger than the meters because it takes 1,000 of these to make up 1 of those. Okay. So let's go over the next one, mass, which is looking at weight, okay, how heavy something is. So 1 pound is the same as 16 ounces. And 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So depending on what you're weighing, okay, you're going to use these different measurements. Like if you're going to weigh something that's really, really light, then you're probably going to use ounces. Pounds we know, and tons would be something very heavy, right? Like maybe a car or something that's pretty large, pretty heavy. Kilogram, which is kg. Remember kilo means 1,000, right? But in a big way. So it takes 1,000 grams to make 1 kilogram. So kilogram, again, anything with kilo means 1,000. Okay? And that's also used for mass. For liquid, 1 gallon is the same as 4 quarts. And 1 quart is the same as 2 pints. And one of those is the same as 2 cups. So for this, let's look at this. So I'm going to show you kind of an easy way to remember these. I'm going to write a G for gallon. Okay. Now let me write this part over. So let's say I have a G like that. G for gallon, so this is 1 gallon. Then, since 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts, I'm going to write 4 Q's in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that means 4 quarts, 4 Q's is equal to 1 gallon. Then within the Q's, I'm going to write 2 P's because I know that 2 pints is equal to 1 quart. So here's P, 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 and then there we go. So I have 2 P's within 1 quart, 1 Q. Then 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. So within each P, I'm going to write 2 C's. So we know Q is for gallon, G is for gallon, Q is for quarts, P is for pints, C is for cups. So if I ask you, how many pints are in 1 gallon, you can just count how many P's there are within the G for the gallon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 pints in 1 gallon. Now what if I ask you how many pints are in 2 quarts? So you're going to count all the P's within 2 Q's. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. How many cups are in 1 quart? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 C's in 1 Q. Okay? So you can just use this to kind of help you when it comes to the liquid measurements. Okay? So when we convert these, if I want to convert meters into centimeters, then, well, first of all, I have to know the measurement of 1 meter equals how many centimeters. Centi meant 100, right, but in a small way. So I know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So I'm just going to write that below here. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. And this is just an easy way to do this. We're going to probably cover this again when we go over proportions in that chapter. But for now, I want you can just write this below here just to kind of help you. So from meter, 1 meter was the same as 100 centimeters. So to get from 1 to this, you multiply by what? By 10, right? Multiply by 10. So in the same way, I have to take 100 and then multiply it by 10 to get how many centimeters is going to equal to 10 meters. So whenever I take this number and multiply it by 10, I can just, there's 1 0 for 10, so I can just add a 0 there at the end of it. So it's going to be 1,000. 100 times 10 is 1,000. So I know that 10 meters is the same as 1,000 centimeters. Okay? Now, quarts to cups. Now, if you don't remember how many cups is equal to the pints and the quarts, you can just draw your G and then use that as a reference. So let me just write that out just so you guys can see it. Okay? So remember I had 4 Q's, and then within each Q I had 2 P's, and then within each P I had 2 C's. So 1 quart, 1 Q, how many cups do I have? I have 4 C's, so then I have 4 cups. Okay, so 1 quart is the same as 4 cups. Okay, yards to inches. Well, I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, right? 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, and 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So if I want to go from yards to inches, since I know that 1 yard is 3 feet and only one of these is equal to 12 inches, to get from here to here, or from here to here, you multiply by 3, right? So then if I want to go from inches to yards, I have to multiply by 3. So 12 times 3 is 36. So 1 yard is equal to 36 inches. Now, I know this seems a little confusing, but I just know that I have the top and the bottom. So to get from 1 to 3, you have to multiply by 3, and then you have to multiply this side also by 3 to get back to the yards. So 1 feet is equal to 12 inches, so 3 feet is going to be 36 inches, and 3 feet is the same thing as 1 yard, okay? So you can look at it that way. Now, ounces to pounds. I know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So how did you get from 16 to 8? So once these are the same, you can just convert it back over. So to get from 16 to 8, I divided by 2. So then I have to also take this number and divide by 2. I have to do the same thing to both sides. So 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. This means 1 divided by 2. So 1/2 is the same thing as 1 divided by 2. So 8 ounces is half a pound. Okay. A few more. 2 yards equals how many feet? Well, I know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. Okay, and then again I have yard to yard, feet to feet. So to go from 1 to 2, I multiply by 2, right? So then I have to do the same thing on this side. So multiply by 2, take this number, times 2 is 6. So 2 yards is the same as 6 feet. Okay. So now 8 quarts to how many pints? 1 quart equal to 2 pints. Okay. 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So again, I have quarts to quarts and pints to pints. So then, how do I go from 1 to 8? You multiply. And it's always going to be multiplication or division. You're not going to add 7 to get 8. Okay? You don't do plus and minus. You're going to do times and divide. So 1 times 8 is 8, right? So then I need to multiply this by 8, which is 16. So 8 quarts is equal to 16 pints. Okay, let's do a couple more. 1 gallon equals how many pints? Now, you can draw your G again. So let's draw a big G so you guys can look at it. G for gallon. Then I know that 4 quarts equals a gallon, so then you just draw this over. And then within each quart there are 2 pints. Okay. Now, since I'm only going up to pints, I'm not using cups. I don't have to draw the C's in there. So within 1 G, how many P's do I see? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in 1 gallon, there are 8 pints. Okay. Then 2 kilometers equals how many meters? Remember, kilo means 1,000, but in a big way, right? So I know that there's going to be a lot more meters than kilometers, because since kilometers are big, it means 1,000 in a big way. There has to be more meters to make up for the kilometer. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So again, this is kilometer to kilometer and meters to meters. So then I can just go ahead and see what I multiplied this by. So 1 times 2 equals 2, right? You have to multiply this by 2 to get the 2 kilometers. So then you're going to do the same thing on this side. You have to also multiply by 2. Take this number, 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. So 2 kilometers is 2,000 meters. Okay? If you need to go back to the beginning of this lesson and review over the different units of measurement, and try to get yourself familiar with all of them. Okay? So that's it for this lesson on units of measure. Thank you for watching educator.com.